This project 8, I took the sea project and transformed it into a textile piece. I embroidery at beads in order to create a more powerful piece of work. In the next two videos, you are gonna see my process. I took project 3 called the sea and transformed all the artwork into some of the artwork into these pieces that you're gonna see. So I'm gonna explain to you all the challenges and all the research I did to create them. Transferring the image into textile was the main issue that I have with this project. It was very complicated to get the finish that I wanted. So here are you gonna see how I apply different products into photo printings of my work, or sometimes it's just a print on normal paper and I stick into different type of fabrics to see how it will work. What you see here is a monoprint. So I use the same technique and process that I use in the project C to create it. And I trying to transfer into a textile. This is the only one I did it with this system because it didn't work well. Even all the previous research that you do, nothing prepares you for the fact that the amount of product that you use, the type of textile you're gonna put the pictures on, even the brushes that you use can change the end result. So it is quite complicated and it was a very lengthy process. Here you can see some of the disasters that I made. They are mostly failures. You can see they didn't stick, they were too faded, they were too dirty. At the end, I didn't like most of them. So, but at the end, I find results that I actually like it and it was usable for the project. Here you can see a transfer of one of my illustrations from the last project into fabric. It didn't work, but you are gonna see the results later. One of the things I tried in this project was use the same technique I used to create monoprints for the C project into textiles. Here is the residuals of a print, and I just spray with water, I think, or degreaser, and I use a fabric on it, on top of it, to create a monoprint. This technique didn't really work, but there is a couple of success that I have with it. In order to reuse some of the tests that were a failure before in the transfer part, I use a lino cutting that I did for a project a couple of years ago, and I tried to press the textile on this to see how it looks and if it will work for embroidery. Some of these were really successful. I love it, but unfortunately, these require a lot of attention, planning, and that wasn't part of the process that I was using for this project. I don't think the messy style that I used to create the monoprints for the project the sea can be easily applied to textiles. Or even if I see the textile as a canvas, I don't think it will easily be translated. Sometimes, like in this case, I think the end result is magical and beautiful and unexpected, but I think it's missing something. I think a little bit more experimenting or planning a little bit more. Even though I think the unexpected, the thing that you didn't plan is what make it beautiful at the end, but I don't think it worked for me yet. I'm not so sure if I should call these imperfections or mistakes, but this way of transferring the image to the textile is not the best if you want, for instance, sharp edges or a sharp image. This white spot that the video see that I'm cleaning with water, sometimes you cannot clean it perfectly if you want to preserve the integrity of the paper. So I try many times and not always work. So it's a lot of trial and error and waste. I guess you can argue that it's a matter of what project are you using this technique for. This is when they are dry. You can see there is a lot of white. And the end, at the edges, you can see they are not fully merged with the fabric. As I stated before, the C project was a very intuitive process. I didn't plan much ahead. I have a rough idea what I wanted, and it's more or less the same here. But that project, as same as this one, where a lot of testing, a lot of time went into research what I really want and how I feel about the project. This is what is happening here. I was deciding the type of illustration that I want, how I wanted it to look, and so on and so forth. These are the four final pieces. This project is C through my lens. Basically, the idea is to bring forward to finish the pieces that I did with the project of the sea. This is the first piece that I did. It was pretty obvious. It wasn't very imaginative. The only thing that it was creative in this piece is how I did the sea. I used different texture, different thickness of the thread, and different stitches to match my painting. Um, the beads are the stars, and you can clearly see the moon from the painting. I love it, it's really nice, but it's not very inventive. It's nothing new that the embroidery brought to this piece. This is the second piece. I try to be more creative, like forcing it. And I took a piece that it wasn't a square. This was previously a collage, so there are parts that are not present. So I stitch over the fabric. It didn't work for me. I think this force to be creative, force to do something new doesn't work for me. I need to feel it, and this piece is the one I'm more disappointed with. And it was the one have more work into it. The less that I like it, the more I work it, the worse it go. Different from the previous one. In this one, I have kind of idea what I wanted. I have a lot of threads that I have been saving for many years, and I wanted to use them. So I have like a lot of them. I just put it there when I feel like it was appropriate. It was very easy to make. The only criticism that I have for this piece is I should have stopped at some point. I think it's too busy for the style that I particularly like. This is my last piece. I didn't like this painting much when I did it. I thought it was boring, like, I don't know, something that bring the painting forward. And I didn't have anything in mind, but when I found this piece of fabric on the floor, I thought, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And actually, I think this piece of fabric, even if it wasn't planned, it brings all the picture together. I really like it. And I like the embroidery. It's very messy, and you can see the borders are messy. I think it's very cathartic. I love this piece, but I hope you like the four of them. I think they are a nice group of work.